Okay, so I'm 37 and I am single by choice. And today I want to share with you why is that and the things that I have learned about myself. And I want to just say that this is my experience, my kind of subjective opinion. So take what resonates, because sometimes the things I'm going to share today can be a little bit sensitive for some people. But I think it can benefit young women and also women on my age, at my age, to really rethink about being in a relationship, because I've learned that it's not for everyone. Not everybody thrives in a relationship. So as I have mentioned in my previous video, hi, my cat is a little bit chatty today. I was married when I was 21. The main reason I got married was because I was really religious at that age. And now I understand that I was trying to justify my sense of worthiness by belonging to a religious group that would tell me that I am better than a certain group of people and that God loves me. And of course now I have a much healthier relationship with that higher power. But anyway, back then I felt like it was much easier for people to manipulate me, making me believe that my biggest purpose as a woman is to get married and to have children, because that's what God wants from me, right? So I did. I never even had the chance to think about if that's something that I wanted in the first place. And of course now at the age of 37 and a half, I have become aware of the fact that I have actually never wanted kids, not even wanted to get married. But honestly, there's no point thinking that why I did that, because I love my daughter. I'm happy that she was born, but she is the only child that I will ever have. And so when we are younger and that we romanticize marriage, having family, raising kids and stuff like that, and also thinking that the biological clock is ticking, which often lead us to make wrong decisions. And I made that decision and I gave birth to a child, and after 3 years of miserable marriage, I ended up raising my child all by myself for 14 years. So I didn't really have anyone to help me to raise that kid. And honestly, when she was younger, I desperately hoped to have somebody to share that burden with me. But that person never came into my life. So I have learned to do everything myself. And now that hardship is over, now she is going to be 16 soon. And my life is in a pretty stable place, except of course my health and everything else. But after going through all that, raising a child all by yourself and coming out on the other side, now I'm kind of questioning, what do I need a partner for? I don't have an answer for that question. And I tried to date like a couple of years ago when my daughter turned 14, and when I finally started to have some free time, my friends were encouraging me to go out for a date and everything, so I tried. And I was deeply disappointed how shallow the dating world is, so I stopped and I have committed to celibacy. And not for any religious or spiritual reason. It's just also because of my health. And honestly, right now in this age, I mean, I know I'm not that old. 37 is not considered to be that old. Most people get married and have kids in this age. But honestly, after everything that I went through, I felt like I had enough, that I don't really have the capacity to put up with anything with any man. I'm purely speaking from my experience with a relationship with men. But I believe that any kind of relationship, same-sex marriages or relationships, they all have their own problems, struggles. I believe that this can apply to anyone, really. It doesn't matter what kind of what your sexual orientation is. So at this age, to be honest, I don't see any point being in a relationship. And I was having this conversation with my friend because she's a few years younger than me. We were talking about relationships and how challenging it is these days to meet with quality men and stuff like that. And I believe that there are good men out there. It's just that I have never had the opportunity to meet someone that would live up to my standards. And unfortunately, now I have completely lost interest in dating or being in a relationship. And I'm actually more inclined to living alone. When my daughter moves out, in a few years of time, I'm actually looking forward to just live on my own. And I used to think that was a problem. But now I honestly don't think that it is a problem. Actually, I just don't see any reason for me to be in a relationship, to live with someone, or there's a very good reason for that. I'll tell you about it in a minute. I mean, when I was younger, I was often asked to do chores because I was a girl, right? I grew up in that kind of family. And now, of course, I have a better relationship with my parents after talking to them a lot. But however, I've often resented the fact that my brother was never asked to do chores because he was a boy. And I remember arguing with my mom, saying that, why can't he do the dishes? Why can't he do the vacuum cleaning? Because, he also got 10 fingers, and why do I have to do all that thing? So I've been a bit of a rebellious since I was at the young age. And the woman in my family often told me that if I have this kind of attitude, then I can never find a good man, or can never be married. And as if that was like the hugest failure of my life. And now I look back, I'm really happy that I moved out of that environment, and I'm raising my daughter far away from that. So when I got married, I kind of started to feel like I was a maid at home. That feeling was just so strong in me that I resented it so much. And strangely, when I tried to date again, I've always ended up attracting men who thinks that women should be doing the chores, should be cleaning, should be cooking. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have no problem doing those things for myself, for my daughter at home when I'm alone. That's a completely different story. But when you have another adult in your home, like who lives with you, who eats the food that you make, that you certainly expect some kind of cooperation, some kind of help. If I cook, then you do the dishes, and every now and then you do the vacuum cleaning. Like, why do I have to say thank you if you do the dishwasher? Like, I didn't kind of just make peace with that. I don't think anyone should make peace with that, because women had been brainwashed, had been domesticated for centuries because of religion, because of these stupid teachings about women's role in the family, in the household, in the society. And that we just brainwashed to believe that it is our job to take care of men in general. And I don't really, it doesn't sit with me. It had never sit with me. And not just with men, but if I was gonna date a woman, for example, like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, but I would expect the same from my partner. I would never want to be somebody's mom, especially after raising a child. And now I'm kind of really good at identifying a behavior from someone if they're expecting me to be their mom, taking that role. I can immediately see that. And I don't have a problem doing that for my child, but I'm not going to do that for another adult, because I'm not their mom. I'm not there, I'm not there to take care of them. I'm not their caregiver. And because I feel so strongly about this, and I never really got to meet somebody who could meet me at this point. So I think that also kind of contributed to the fact that I've completely given up on the idea of relationship. And when it comes to the idea of the one, it's also an interesting point. I'll tell you in a minute. So when it comes to the thought of the one, I was sharing this thought with my friends and my therapist, and they were telling me that, you're going to feel different when you meet the one and you fall in love and stuff like that. And I was like, why? And to be honest, after 14 years of being a solo parent, I crave to be alone. I love doing things alone. I mean, I do admit, when I was younger, when I was like in my late 20s, early 30s, when my daughter was still young, and when I see like couples on the street doing things together, I used to envy. I used to feel like, I wonder what that feels like, because I've been solo parent for such a long time. I dragged my daughter along with everywhere because I never got any help. I couldn't afford babysitter because I was, providing with one person's wage. So I never really had any time alone. And now suddenly, like, she's old enough, and for example, today she's visiting one of her friends, and I got this whole day for myself. I am loving it. I have no problem going out for a walk by myself, going to a cafe by myself. Even sometimes I treat myself alone at a restaurant, thinking that, oh my God, this feels so good. Like, this is so nice, So I don't really see the need of having someone to do anything anymore. I used to dream about traveling to different places, but I was waiting for my daughter to become older. And now, like, we travel together, for example. And when she gets older, have her own life, I have no problem traveling alone. I just don't have the need of doing something with someone. And I think the whole idea of having the one comes from the feeling that you're not good enough being alone, like you're not complete, as if like you need somebody else to complete you. Sometimes people refer that to like the other half and stuff like that. I don't really agree with that kind of term, because I don't have the other half. I am a complete person. I mean, having all of this solo parenting experiencing all of that hardship all by myself and coming out on the other side really taught me that I am a capable human being. I don't really understand the fuss around finding the one, or, like, don't get me wrong, I do invest into good friendships. I do enjoy my friends and good companionship, but most of the time I enjoy my time alone so much right now that it is almost dangerous. And I don't meet with my friends as much as I used to. I don't really have that need of being with someone, like needing others' companionship. I think it's also because of the burnout and the pain that I'm experiencing these days, but mostly I think it's also like psychological, emotional, that I'm feeling more and more emotionally mature. And I don't feel lonely because I know what loneliness feels like. I used to feel lonely. I know what it feels like. And that feeling is completely gone now. So, yeah. So that is the kind of my take and my experience and my understanding of why I am single at this stage and why I choose to stay single. And maybe this will change one day when I finally really find a reason to be in a relationship. But right now, to this, today, like at this point, I don't have any reason to be in a relationship, to even date or be with someone, honestly. So yeah, that's my thought. So thank you for listening to me, and see you soon.